David Kuntz can help me on this one. I thought I'd show what was my last and favorite film 3D camera. I started shooting in 1977 with a Viewmaster Personal, and after a couple of years, went from that to my first stereo realist camera was not a stereo realist; it was a Wallensack. And then in the desire to get a wider, and that took a square picture on 35 millimeter film. I went from that to a Veriscope F40, which takes a 7 perforation wide picture, and then played around with twin cameras. And eventually people started building these custom cameras. This is 2 Ricoh 3R KR10M cameras that have been chopped apart, put back together. This was by RBT in Germany. And the end result, what I loved about this one, I had one before this that was a little more manual. This maintains every function of the original non-3D version of the camera. It's got an LCD display, motorized rewind. It automatically winds 1 and 3 frames to get the right spacing for 2 full frame 3D images. Let me open it up and show the back. So that's 2 full 35 millimeter frames, and that space in between is another full 35 frame. So it moves over 1 frame, then it has to move 3 frames to get to the next pair. But in the end, on film, it looks like 36 pictures from a normal 2D camera. So I could send them off to Kodak, get them mounted, and put them in a viewer that takes 2 separate slides, at least for initial viewing. And this has 28 to 70 millimeter zoom lenses that are coupled. Like I said, automatic film advance when it gets to the end of the roll, motorized rewind, and took great pictures. I shot with this for at least 10 years from about, David Kuntz, can you help me? When did this come out? About 72 92 or 93?
Right. We both got ours at Eastbourne in 93.
Okay. So from 1993 till 2005, this was my main camera. And 2005 was when I sort of switched over to digital. And I still kind of miss this camera because there's things you can do that you just can't do with digital. And the things I miss the most are these. This was called an enhancing filter that Tiffin made, and it's magical. It makes fall colors like reds and browns and bricks redder and greens greener, and doesn't seem to affect other colors. So it really gooses up your photos. I guess now you do it all in Photoshop, but they were great filters, and this would take all the normal things. So that's my show and tell. They called it, was it the RBT X2 was the model number. And there it is on top. And that's my show and tell.
Nice. Thank you, David.
Okay. And happy holidays, everybody.
Hey, you too. Thanks for the cool card that you sent out.
Okay. Maybe I'll send it to Pascal. Maybe you can put it on the site.
Yeah.
Or put it on Brooklyn.
All right, Pascal, you're next. Pascal, sorry.
Yes, I wanted to show you something that I found late after midnight, and that's why it's always good before you fall asleep to go through your online searches for your collecting activities. So I'll try to share my screen because the stereoscope is too big to show it here. Let me see. So can you see it already? So this is in parallel view. I hope you can watch it in 3D. So
I'm not seeing it. Is anyone else?
Yes, I can.
I am.
Oh, maybe I have the wrong setting. Sorry.
Okay, so anyway, it was, I think, 1 a.m. when I went to my through my standard searches, and I just found this to to a very good price. And so 5 minutes later, I've bought it, and I think it's quite a nice addition between these other two here, and I just wanted to share that with you. So that was my show and tell.
Gee,
Awesome.
Pascal, that looks very familiar. It's a Matty stereoscope. Matty.
Yes, but the belt is not to exchange. It's fixed.
Very pretty.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm jealous. Jealous of that. It's so beautiful. All right. Next up is Lon.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to show you something, and I set it down. When David Starkman was giving his talk about stereoscopic books, I don't think he mentioned this one, which is Masterpieces in 3D. And it's absolute crap, because what they've done is taken a whole bunch of M.C. Escher drawings, lithographs, etc., and they've converted them to stereo by breaking them up into chunks and putting them on 3 different planes. I do have this stereo viewer card, which folds up as a postcard, and then you can just view it like that. And this is the Escher's Drawing Hands, which is a million times better conversion than the one in the book. So I paid 15 bucks on eBay for this thing, and it pissed me off until I figured out that I could use it as a case for my mom's tablet, which means that she can use it to view stereos I take of her cats, just by using the included viewer. And yeah, that's it.
Nice. Thank you. I was wondering when cats would make their first appearance into our meeting. And there we go. Well, so now I guess I know not to get that book, right?
Yeah, I wanted to save everybody a few bucks too.
This has been the first meetings I've been to where there hasn't been cats appearing randomly.
So thank you, Lon, for that. All right. Let me see. Scrolling through.
This camera?
No. What is that?
It's 2 digital cameras with, and this I built the black things. I built this to can be this possibility. This is my tool, my first tool to take pictures.
Yeah, I've never seen one. I don't know if anyone else on the call has seen one. I'm not very familiar with stereo cameras. Oh,
Well, it looks like the Samsung cameras. Dr. T wrote a whole article about putting 2 of these. I forget the model. There's a Samsung, N1000 or something, and they'll sync pretty easily with just sort of a spliced cable. But he's built a really nice bar to hold them together. But a lot of other people have put those particular cameras together.
Sí, que ha hecho una persona ha escrito un libro con esas cámaras ¿Y qué lo has hecho tú? This support I built this support with I worked 1 month complete to build this.
The bar.
Yeah.
Model camera.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. All right. Next is Anna.
Hello, everyone. So I'm showing a stereo I have taken. Hope you can see it. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, could you make the photo larger on your screen?
Of course I can. So here it is. I'm pretty new in taking stereos, so that's one I'm very proud of. It shows the landscape in the part of Germany where I live. There are lots of dead trees, and yeah, I'm very proud of that because of the fog and the colors. So yeah, just wanted to show that.
Nice. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
That's definitely better than I can do. I keep saying I'm going to start practicing taking photos, and I have not yet started. But thank you for sharing that. Oops, sorry, alarm going off. All right, is Ian back? Here, Ian. Oh yes, I guess I just don't see you on this. Oh, there you are.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to put my things back in. Lon, that's the first time we've had a show and tell of a do not buy this item. It was pretty amusing. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yep, we can hear you.
So my show and tell item is stereo rentgenography, pulmonary tuberculosis. And this is an item that my friend Doug, who some of you knew or have heard of, was going to give me for Christmas last year. But I wound up picking it up at his house later. I figured 'tis the season and all. The idea was pulmonary tuberculosis was something that they were having a great deal of difficulty treating, basically up through the 1960s. And they felt that 3D views of the lungs and thorax might give a better idea. So every detachable page in this has a stereo card that you put into a home's viewer. This one is bismuth injected through the trachees. And if you look at it up close, I don't know, can you see that? It's basically an X-ray machine they developed at Johns Hopkins that could move very quickly and take 2 X-rays in a parallel view format, and they use this to take a look at acute patients and so on, and to diagnose the degree to which the tubercles or spirochetes spread through the pulmonary system, and the best means of treatment for tuberculosis prior to the triple antibiotic combo that was actually developed right out on Staten Island at Seaview Hospital. I've always been interested in medicine, so Doug was going to pass that off to me for Christmas last year. I thought it would be a fun Christmas this year gift. Yes, David, it's very similar to the Edinburgh Stereoscopic Atlas. I have both the first and second edition of that. This is a whole hell of a lot rarer. That's all.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Ian.
Of course.
Anyone else? No one? We've got time. Someone want to grab something that they want to share? I have something. I'll go. I wasn't going to share this, but because it's not ready, and it's. I wanted to share something that I'm thinking of doing. So, I have this my viewer website, and I think several of us have sites and blogs and things like that. But I used to work for a mapping company before I work where I work now. And it's a company in Southern California in Redlands called Esri. And if you've ever looked at maps of disasters or anything like that, you've probably been looking at one of their maps. And it'll say, people think it says ArcGIS at the bottom, but it's ArcGIS. So I used to work there, and they were developing this really cool application called Story Maps, where you could build a storyline and have a map be the sort of help illustrate your story. So anyway, I just by chance went back and decided I wanted to try, let me just share my screen really quickly, to try, and it's not even done, but I just want to show you like what I'm thinking of doing, and anyone who wants to help contribute, and it's probably a month-long project, but I was thinking of doing this, like mapping the 3D viewer evolution. And so what you can do is like on the left-hand side, you can have like a timeline, and you can place things on, that's not actually where Viewmaster was born. That's actually Southern California, not Portland. But I was just playing around with dropping pins on the map. So here's True View for Rock Island, and then Chicago with DeVry. And, I was going to go, so scrolling through the timeline, then go over to just, kind of have this whole story where you can kind of visually see things going on with the map. So just wanted to share that. That's my 3 minutes. And yeah, so instead of just kind of having a timeline that's just text, it would be like this map, and you could, I don't know, there's all sorts of things you could do with something like that. So anyway, that's my show. Anyone else? Someone said they had something. I heard that come up.
David said if there's still time.
Sure. David.
Yeah, I mean, if you have time, I'll pull out one more item.
Yep. I'll give you another 3 minutes on the clock.
Okay, let's pull it out here. 1 second. Okay. About a mile and a half from where I currently live was a company called Radex. They're still in business, but they've moved to a different location. But we used to buy products from them. A little hold up to the viewer that's still being sold for Stereo Realist. But one of their 1950s products was called the Radex Binocular Scope. This is the box, and this is the viewer. And they called it the binocular scope because it sort of looks like binoculars. And you'll notice two 35 millimeter slides, and these are in a metal frame that they made that you would, have a right and a left. And how did you get the right and the left? Well, I guess you could have used two cameras, but they also made something called a stereo parallel. And here's the box. Oh, I'll show it again. And you've all probably seen something of this type. Let's pull it out here. This is the parallel. I'm unscrewing this part here. So this is what they called their stereo parallel. And you would mount this on you would mount this on a tripod. It has a tripod hole in the bottom. And then this would go here and into your camera, which you would mount on top right here. And once your camera's mounted on that and you're on the tripod, you would take your left picture or your right picture and then flip it over. And it would move over about 2.5 inches to get your right and left in a pretty quick succession. And then after you got your mounted by Kodak slides back. You'd slip them into the frame, put them into the viewer, and that was their system. So that's my show and tell.
Nice. I have that viewer, but I've never seen that.
The stereo parallel?
No, that's cool.
Oh, well, I'll give you an email later about it.
All right, cool. Thanks. I just one last thing I wanted to just share to go along with what I was sharing. I'll drop the link in the chat. But if you ever want to look at story maps and get ideas, because mine was a really ugly version of what can be done, there are people doing really awesome story maps, and you can go by topic, look for editors' picks, arts and culture, travel and recreation, nature and environment. You can learn about how to build your own story map. So they're really beautiful ones. So don't let what you saw of mine be like, oh my God, that's going to be horrible. I hope that it'll actually be something beautiful that we can actually get put into this gallery and introduce people to the world of 3D. So